Hello, and welcome back to another Chris McPherson Show Daily Dose. It is time to talk some more US Open. And as we speak, the action is continuing on for day 12. We've got some results already in the women's singles. Aryna Sabalenka fighting back from losing the first set to take out Jessica Pegula to book herself into a third straight US Open women's final. Can she defend her title? That will be the big question. And who will she play? As it stands, Osaka has taken out the first set against Amanda Anisimova in a tiebreak after being up a break early. So, again, it'll be interesting to see. We'll know more when we talk to you tomorrow for day 13, for day 14, and our day 13 recap as to who will be playing in that final. But we'll wait and see. We do know the men's doubles final. It will be the two favourites, the fifth and the sixth seeds that will clash there after Horacio Zaballos and Marcel Granollers won in three sets, 6-3, 3-6, 6-1, and they'll come up against the Brits, Neil Skupski and Joe Salisbury. The Brits came back from a set down, losing the first set tiebreak, won a second set tiebreak, and then got it done 6-4 in the third set. So that's your men's doubles final that we played on Sunday the 7th. That will be on Arthur Ashe Stadium to get things underway in the lead up to the women's singles final, where, as we said, Aryna Sabalenka will play either Naomi Osaka or Amanda Anisimova. It is advantage Osaka at the moment. She is up a set to love. But we're here to pick apart and talk about the men's singles semi-finals that will get us rolling on day 13 to really get heated up. Looking forward to that. We'll also have the women's doubles in the lead up to that. So we're looking forward to seeing how that shapes on that day. So the women's doubles, they are, of course, at their final stage, where it will be Taylor Townsend and Katerina Siniakova who will be playing against Gabriela Dabrowski and Erin Routliffe, the Canadian and Kiwi pairing. So the number one seed up against the number three seed. So that will get us underway to start things on day 13, and then we'll head into, obviously, those men's singles semi-finals, which we're really looking forward to. And the first of those, of course, is Novak Djokovic versus Carlos Alcaraz, and it's a huge one. We know what this rivalry is. We certainly know how these two go head-to-head, and we're looking forward to seeing it. It's going to be a big matchup. It's interesting to see how it matches up. You got to remember that Novak Djokovic has never lost to Carlos Alcaraz on hard courts, even including this year at the Australian Open, where Djokovic fought back to win that match. And you know, again, he was on one leg. He had a leg injury, and Alcaraz talked about it afterwards that, you know, Djokovic and his injury actually got into Alcaraz's head, and that was what undid him, he said. These guys have played at some really big tournaments. We know that. They played the Olympics final, was the second last time they played, where, again, Djokovic won out in two tie breaks, as we said earlier this year, the Australian Open. They played at Wimbledon last year as well. You go back to the ATP finals in 2023. They played at Cincinnati, Wimbledon, and the French Open also in 2023. So there's certainly been no shortage of big matchups, semi-finals, finals, quarterfinals. Every time they've come together, it's been headline, it's been blockbuster. But again, Djokovic, 5-3. He leads. He's won both of their hard court matches on outdoor hard courts. He's also won the indoor hard court match. However, there's a big asterisk on all of that. Novak Djokovic is getting a little bit older. He's played 3 and a bit hours, almost 3.5 hours more on court this tournament, nearly 13 hours to just over 9.5 for Alcaraz. Carlos has been electric this US Open. He's found the best of his form. He's gotten rid of the Carlos bumps and yips that he gets just in the middle of games, the lacks of focus, the lacks of concentration. So what does Djokovic do here at 38 up against 22? 16 years the difference. Djokovic knows that if he wants to win that 25th slam, each slam that we go to is going to make it a bit more difficult as he gets older and further along the journey of his tennis career. So is this the time to really make this one last salvo, one last hurrah? We know that he's going to have to be at his absolute best to do so. He's going to have to serve and volley well. He's going to have to really take it to Alcaraz. He's going to have to shorten the points. He can't go long and deep in points and go 4 or 5 sets against Carlos, because that is just going to make it such a challenge, such an issue for him. He's had the injuries. He's had some niggles through this tournament, and that's what really piles up with the added court time. Again, I'd love the narrative of Novak coming back, making another final here and breaking a potential streak for Alcaraz and Sinner to be 3 in a row. We saw what they did at the French Open. It was outstanding, one of the great Grand Slam finals. Sinner turned the tables when they played at Wimbledon. And now do they play again here at the US Open? It would then be all three surfaces. We would have had clay, grass, and hard courts. And it might be the decider in inverted commas for 2025 to see who walks away with the biggest crowns. But there is two men standing in their way. Novak is one of those. I just would love to find the narratives on this. But even when I lean back to early this year, and Carlos is a much improved player on what he was in January. He is starting to really take those leaps. We've seen that. We've talked about just before. He is starting to be more consistent. He has been the most dominant. I think he's the most formed player, despite some of the statistics that we'll talk about with Sinner in a moment. And again, I just don't see how Djokovic can get into arm wrestles, can go to take it to 5. He's got to come out and try and blow Carlos away and win it in 3 or 4. That said, I don't see that happening. I just think Carlos is just on at the moment. I think he's more mature. And so because of that, I've got Carlos Alcaraz taking this one out in 4 sets. I think Djokovic will get in there and win the first or second, but then Alcaraz will come home, drive it home, get the win, and book himself another Grand Slam finals appearance and a third one consecutively. On the other side of the draw, we have a bit of a surprise packet. We have Felix Auger-Aliassime, the 25th seed, up against the number 1 seed, Jannik Sinner, who is looking to go 5 Grand Slam finals in a row. Just let that sink in. 5 Grand Slam finals in a row. He won the US Open last year. He won the Australian Open earlier this year. He's looking to go again here at Flushing Meadows. It has been clinical, but only in the shadows of Carlos Alcaraz. But when you have a look at it, he's won 26 matches in a row at Grand Slams on hard courts. That is a huge record. He took out the 2024 and 2025 Australian Opens. He took out the 2024 US Opens, and he's looking to go the double here and claim a 3rd Grand Slam in the calendar year. That is a phenomenal achievement if he can do it. The big question is, can he get there? And then can he get past either Alcaraz or Djokovic? That's going to be the big question. But again, like we talked in the last match, Sinner, 10 hours on court. Auger-Aliassime, 16 hours on court. Auger-Aliassime is absolutely riding a huge wave of momentum and will face absolutely no expectation in this match. But Sinner, he's dropped 1 set to this point. He's only played 16 sets. Auger-Aliassime is working overtime to get here. Sinner just been dominating. Outside of that blip with the withdrawal at Cincinnati, he has been in such good form. And he's been dominant here. You know, Vit Capriva 1-1-2. Alexei Popyrin 3-2-2. Dropped at the first set against Shapovalov, came back 4-3-3. Blew Alexander Bublik off the court 1-1-1. And then Lorenzo Musetti, the number 10 in the world, 1-4-2. When you have a look then at the other side, yes, certainly he's only dropped 2 sets, 1 to Zverev and 1 to De Minaur. Felix Auger-Aliassime is in some of his best career form. He's equals his best Grand Slam performance of the 2021 US Open. But this is a huge leap in class, and we only have to go back to Cincinnati to the quarterfinals, where Jannik Sinner, only a matter of just over 3 weeks ago, won love and 2 against Auger-Aliassime on hard courts. And that's where I just think I really struggle to find a narrative here for Auger-Aliassime, despite the fact that he leads this head-to-head 3-1. That was the first time Sinner had beaten him. Well, technically 2-1, as he'd gotten a walkover in Madrid in 2024. But those wins, they go back to 2022 on clay and at Cincinnati. Interestingly enough, the 4 times they've been scheduled to play have been Madrid, Cincinnati, Madrid, Cincinnati. But again, Sinner has taken it to a new level in 2025. 2022, especially early 2022, was the previous peak for FAA. And so that's the piece that we've got to really look at here. So it's an interesting one. I just think that it's too hard to go past Jannik Sinner here. He's chasing back to, make sure he maintains that number 1 ranking. Yes, Auger-Aliassime is knocking back on the door of the top 10. He's surged up the rankings, but I don't see how he takes this out. I've got Sinner winning this one. It's going to be 3 or 4 for me. I don't think Auger-Aliassime is even going to take him deep, but he needs to just enjoy it and have fun if he's to be any chance. He has no expectation, no pressure, as I said, so it's all on his racket. We'll see how it shapes up. It's going to be a huge clash. We're looking forward to it, but I've got a Sinner Alcaraz final again for the 3rd slam in a row, and hopefully it just gives us some taste even of what that French Open final was. But we'll be back tomorrow to talk about the women's final, and then we'll come back the day after to talk the men's final. Big thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube. Hit the bell down below. That way you get all the notifications about when we drop videos whether it's about the tennis or about much, much more. We've got plenty more coming. Had our weekly show only yesterday. We also dropped the NBL Blitz episode. So plenty of basketball, plenty of tennis, plenty of around the grounds, plenty more to come. And again, you can keep up to date with absolutely everything on our social media: X, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, at The Chris Mack Show. Make sure you get involved in the comments below. Let me know, where have I got it wrong? Who do you see getting up here in an upset? I'd love to hear. Looking forward to seeing what comes across the remaining matches and across the remaining couple of days here. But until next time, a big thank you for tuning into your home of Black and White of Sport.